Today we'd like to give our views on the U.S.-China economic conflict. Our bottom line is that it's moved beyond trade into the area of technology. On Thursday, we got the news that the chief financial officer of Huawei, who is also the chairman's daughter, had been arrested in Vancouver, and the U.S. had requested extradition. We don't know what the charges are, but this is very important because, number one, it's an arrest of an individual. Number two, it highlights that the U.S. strategy is now changing. It's moving on from trade. The dinner over the past weekend between Xi Jinping and President Donald Trump, I think, was very important in de-escalating the trade war. I think it de-escalated partly because it hadn't produced any positive results, and second, it had imposed significant costs on the U.S. economy, in particular the farm sector. Trump had threatened to escalate the tariffs, but we think that the focus has now shifted to technology. And so what we are likely to have is a different type of confrontation, because the trade had very big spillover effects, whereas the technology conflict is going to be very focused on the technology sector. Technology companies, U.S. technology companies, are likely to be hit by new export controls, but the spillover effects, we think, will be more limited. So on the one side, it's positive that we've moved beyond the trade war, and it's negative that we're now moving into a technology confrontation that, in our view, doesn't have a very clear resolution. So our scenario is the following. We have a 90-day truce. We think that at the end of 90 days, China, or before the end of 90 days, China will give some concessions on issues, so-called structural issues, such as protection of intellectual property, and we'll get another extension, because we just don't think that you can wrap up such complicated negotiations in a period of 90 days. In fact, we think this is likely to be postponed pretty much throughout all of next year and into 2020, which of course is an election year. So the Chinese strategy is essentially to wait out, to drag out the talks, make limited concessions, and see what happens. Trump, he's going to be dealing with lots of other problems, so we'll have to see how he reacts and how much attention he devotes to China. So that's our view today on the trade war.